Okay, sorry about that. I got a phone call in the middle of all that. Anyway, he was saying Obama's action has violated or something deep inside. Violated something deep inside. Yeah, it's called the Constitution, Chris Matthews, and core American principles, like the Bill of Rights. Maybe you should try reading those.
I believe Obama is running our country into the ground.
Obama is a radical communist, and I think it's becoming...
Again, they show like two people's opinions, and they never show any real patriots. Like, well, this guy's a real patriot for the most part, but they never show real patriots like Webster Tarpley I mean, see, their names are slipping. I'm doing this right off the cuff, but I'll remember more patriots in the real patriot movement. Like, okay, Edwin Vieira, Bob Chapman, Debbie Kidd, Joe Bannister, Aaron Russo, just to name a few. Did you see any of them in this video, this documentary? I haven't, and you're not going to either.
Obama is completely illegitimate.
In February 2009, the rising anger found a catalyst in an unusual place, a CNBC commentator on the floor of the Chicago Mercantile Exchange.
How many of you people want to pay for your neighbor's mortgage that has an extra bathroom and can't pay their bills? Raise their hand. How about we all... President Obama, are you listening?
Call it the rant heard round the world. And one...
Again, he's trying to say that this guy started the Tea Party and got this whole thing rolling. He might have got it rolling late in the game, but the Tea Party movement was started by 9/11 Truth. They threw a Tea Party where they threw the 9/11 Commission report, which is a joke. Even 6 of the 10 commissioners said it was a cover-up. They threw it into the Boston Harbor, and that's how the Tea Party started. And then that grew into a grassroots end the Fed, which means end the private-owned Federal Reserve Bank movement, which was the original Tea Party before it was co-opted by Fox and Palin and Gingrich and people who are not real American patriots but mainstream hacks and neocons.
And in particular, it hit home with people who felt they weren't being heard in Washington.
We're thinking of having a Chicago Tea Party in July.
In 1773, angry colonists in Boston Harbor tossed barrels of tea overboard to protest taxes levied by the British Crown. The Boston Tea Party was one of the key events leading to the American Revolution. Those angry about government spending today took this symbol of rebellion and claimed it as their own. Promoted by Fox News, they arranged tax day.
Again, promoted by Fox News. Fox News had nothing to do with this grassroots uprising. Again, 9/11 Truth started it, and then it was End the Fed for a year or two, End the Fed demonstrations during tax time. And then when it really gained some steam, Glenn Beck mysteriously gets hired to Fox News and all of a sudden becomes this wannabe patriot, even though he's not patriotic at all.
Tea parties across the country.
I think government's getting out of hand, and I'd never seen these demonstrations since the Vietnam War.
From there, the protests spread. Angry citizens disrupted town hall meetings on health care.
We want the government out of our business now.
Wow, what a notion. Notice everyone went crazy clapping for what she said, which is very simple. We want the government out of our business now. Well, part of that, don't you understand, Chris Matthews? It's not radical. The Constitution and Bill of Rights is not radical. The government does not have any business in our personal lives, much less our health and our private property or our firearms or anything constitutionally protected. Chris Matthews, are you listening, Chris Matthews? Why don't you do your research and quit trying to slam patriots?
On September 12, 2009, Tea Party protesters blanketed the streets of Washington, D.C. And through the winter, the movement grew.
It was Thomas Jefferson who said, a revolution every now and then is a good thing. What do you think?
In early February...
Man, Chris Matthews is really scared of that word revolution. And every time somebody says it, he tries to make it sound like we want violent armed revolution, which is completely misleading and false. We just want, there's more than one definition of revolution. It's not just picking up your guns and fighting against the government. I mean, hopefully it never has to come to that, but again, that is what the Founding Fathers wrote the Second Amendment for, was an overbearing, oppressive government, Chris Matthews. Are you against people being armed and free? Or do you want them to be slaves to socialistic, fascist government?
In 2010, former Alaska Governor Sarah Palin traveled to Nashville to headline what was dubbed the first national Tea Party convention.
Again, the first national Tea Party convention. This because that's the only people you'll put on TV. Have you debated anybody from the real Patriot movement, Chris Matthews? I don't think so. And when you do have somebody on the show, you spend 10 minutes talking over them and then say, okay, we got to go, you're crazy. And you label, like Stuart Rhodes, you label them like they were some kind of crazy militia.
America is ready for another revolution, and you are a part of this.
Ooh, revolution, another scary word.
What started as a low growl over political differences was now a roar of fury.
Yes.
We are losing our country. We think the Muslims are moving in and taking over.
Again, why does he pick this lady right here specifically and her viewpoints to put in his documentary when there's about 800,000 more people more qualified to speak on the behalf of the right, or the so-called right, which is just hard-working Americans that don't believe in socialism and fascism and believe in the Constitution and constitutional rights. Something you're really scared of, Chris Matthews.
We do not believe our president is a Christian, and he led us to believe that. Our president is a liar. God bless Joe Wilson.
Our president is a liar. She got that right. He's not the only one. Every president before him just about was a liar. And I can't even think of the last constitutional president we had. I mean, Ronald Reagan came close, but he was no angel.
Right, an emerging fact of life in 21st century America. Tea parties, birthers, patriot groups, militias.
Patriot groups. I mean, he said, you say patriot groups like it's a bad thing. Patriot groups and militias, and see how he groups all these guys that go train in the woods just to get prepared with patriots. So they're trying to demonize the word patriot as if being a patriot is bad.
Their common cause, a raging hostility toward the elected government of the United States.
We are in deep